Hey everyone, Jake here. Welcome back to another video, and today we're playing Hollow Knight. Now, I am sorry for the lack of videos coming out. It's just I've just been doing a lot of schoolwork, things like that, but I'll be sure to upload more now. So, if you don't know what Hollow Knight is, it's a game that's gotten pretty big since quarantine has hit. It's one of those games that grew with it, and it's a Metroidvania style game, all about this little guy that's trying to save the kingdom of Deepness. So I decided to give it a go on my channel. I've already played some of it, so yeah. And trust me, that's not important. It's just a bit of controls and stuff. It's a lore thing too, so I don't really play this game for the story. Now, a quick explanation of everything in this game. Your main controls are walking around, and you have something called focus that allows you to heal. It's a platforming game. You can use the obstacles around you to hurt things. So, this is called Lifeblood Hearts. It gives you extra hearts, except you can't regenerate them, and no regeneration comes in. Like you saw a bit earlier, when you lose health, you lose some of this circle up there trying to heal it. That's called your focus meter. And after losing health, you trade out some focus for health regen. And you can also downstrike to get across pits and stuff. So, and here we'll find a charm called Fury of the Fallen. And I don't actually think you're supposed to be down here right now, since usually you'd access it via a wall jump right here, but you can't really do that at this point. And you wouldn't really know about the whole bouncing with downward nail strike. There's a little thing in this game where everything, like every single hit, has recoil damage, and they actually use that to their advantage in this. So if you strike certain things with your nail, usually things that make the sound like this. Wait, no, not like that. That basically had no sound. But if you strike enemies, then, or things that sound like this when you hit them, then you can use that to gain some extra height, and they use that so you can get some collectibles and stuff. So, yeah. And now we break down this door, which takes a bit. And this door. And it's open now. So we jump down and just start walking over. Now it's a good idea when you start walking to spam jump, because once you get into places like Dirtmouth, then you're forced to walk. So spamming jump is a good idea. So this is Elderbug. We're supposed to just you talk to him to know some stuff about the kingdom and things like that. So I'll just quickly tell you what he's talking about Ever since something happened in the kingdom of Hollownest, a virus has been going around that's been controlling monsters to start being more aggressive than usual. So yeah, basically the coronavirus. I guess that's why this game has grown in popularity now. But right now, we're just heading through, and I know the most direct paths to do certain things. Like, I'll just really quickly show you the fastest way to get out of this place, or rather this area. So you head in here facing the right direction, and this is Cornifer. You can talk to him every once in a while, and he will give you a map for the current area you're in. So I have it quick assigned to Tad, and basically what he's saying is these current maps cannot actually show your current location. You can go off certain things like, if you look, the part that's up to Dirtmouth, when you go to the side, there's that long shaft, and going down you reach Cornifer, and you can see that by the symbol, and that can lead you to here. But basically, to be able to track yourself on the map, or things that basically every video game allows you to do right away, you have to go back up to Dirtmouth right now and visit Cornifer's wife's shop, and you can buy a compass which will allow you to show your current location. And something I find really cool is you can't just go like, oh, I'll just click escape and then save from there. No, to save, so these are hot springs. They get your soul meter up and your health up if you lost any. Benches are the only way to save your checkpoints and things like that. So, yes. Now, up there is a mask shard. I figured, since when I played this, I didn't know you can get things like wall jump and double jump. I actually decided, hey, how would I get up here? And you can get up there two different ways. The first way is baiting this guy's attention and then making him follow you, die on one of the big guys that you figure out later their names are ghosts, I think they're called. And then once you respawn, you'll be right there, and the guys, their names are Vengeful Flies, will then just fly over all of the ghosts and be right next to you, so you're able to bounce off them. The second way is just to die. Yeah, if you die, then something spawns called a shade, and what those shades do is they're basically normal enemies. You can wall jump off them, and the best part is they're basically you, and they have your weapon, which is called a nail, not a sword or anything like that. So you can parry their movements to take them out without losing, to get mobility without losing health. These are called stag stations. You pay a certain amount of cash. In this game, their currency is called Geo, and it allows you to open up a fast travel point. So I'm gonna time how long it will take us to get something known as the Hunter's Journal. And I'll save times for certain things. well, not save them, but I'll remember times for certain things. Here, we have a breakable wall. And in there we have something called a grub. You hit them to set the grubs free, they dig down, and then there's a certain room you can go to where you find a guy named Grubfather, who will just be like, oh, you saved some grubs, here, take some cash, or take a mask shard, something like that. So, up here is just some Geo and a beetle. Oh, I'm getting a bit off track here. My main goal is just to get out of the bindings of Dirtmouth and the Forgotten Crossroads. Now, believe it or not, to get out of the Forgotten Crossroads, originally that took me multiple hours, because I suck at video games. And to get out of the Forgotten Crossroads, you need to do a boss fight. So for boss fights, it's best to just completely get stacked out on soul, like that. Boss falls down. This is the False Knight. He's the first boss in the game, and you need to beat him to get to 2 different areas. And coincidentally, these 2 areas unlock like everything in the game. So you can't beat the game without beating him. But if you choose, there is a way to just skip this boss completely. Because about right now is gonna go absolute apeshit, and then this wood is gonna break. So if you want, you can just break that wall and get out of the boss fight and just skip the entire thing. But you need something he drops to actually avoid this. Well, to get into one of the areas. So I was just thinking, hey, why not take him out now? So you can do that, but I'm not doing that. Now he's down, and just gotta beat him up now. But I think the main use for this, if you're not actually going to avoid the fight, is you have a free space, and he fell down. Now you kill him. And the reason it's called the False Knight is he's just a small maggot. The city quest. That is really required to beat most of the game. This only has a bunch of Geo in it, which right now is not useful for anything, but it's going to be very useful later on. So, oh, what was that? Well, I guess I'm never gonna see that again. Part of his hammer just lifted up and ran away. I'm not crazy, right? If anyone's watching this video, you have to have seen that, right? Anyway, so 13 minutes is what it took for us to beat the first boss in the game. Save here, even though it's not going to be useful at all. The Snail Shaman gives us a spell to take out some dude that's trapped in a cave, and that cave is actually locking them from basically everything. So, consume the Vengeful Spirit, tap the focus button. button once with Soul to unleash it as a projectile. Anyway, this is what the Vengeful Spirit looks like. It's pretty strong, but you can only upgrade it once, while later you can just do a bunch of upgrades to your nail. And I should have probably put this disclaimer earlier, but this game is best to play blind. I'll put it in the description, come to think of it. But this game is really good to play blind because you never really expect a lot of things. So, yeah. But I had the misfortune of coming into the game after getting spoiled what the final boss was. And I'm not going to reveal that to you. I'm not that much of an asshole. But it's best to go into this because people consider these guys like mini bosses, I guess. But I don't really consider them anything special. They're just there. These guys that I'm about to come up to are only there to make your life as inconvenient as possible. In here, you can heal up your soul a bunch. You'll find a bunch of those statues over the map. They can let you heal up. And these guys. It's required 4 strikes with the Vengeful Spirit to beat them. But you can only come in with 3 right now. So you have to wait for him to eventually spit out another child so you can kill him. So you can get enough soul to just fire at him and kill him. But anyways, we got the Vengeful Spirit at the 15-second minute mark. That's pretty good. Well, terrible for speedruns, but it's good for me. And it's actually pretty... And I think I know the reason why there's a shortcut that just opened up right there. It's because you hop up here, and actually, fun fact, before we go into this, yeah, this is really weird, because technically you don't need the Vengeful Spirit to beat the game, even though there are specific of those boulder guys blocking your way, making it so you can't progress without killing them. But there is surprisingly a way to beat them and skip the whole Snail Shaman thing immediately, and that's if you get the item, the charm Long Nail. Long Nail increases your nail's distance and you can get it pretty early off. And if you do some flame perfect hits right before the guy starts blocking again, you should be able to get a nail strike in, and it takes 5 unupgraded nail strikes to fully kill one of those guys. And yeah. So this is Green Path. The area that you may spend the most time in, other than Dirtmouth, and that reason will come to you soon. But anyways, we just have to keep going along. And now a little thing here is that technically you can just run across the floor to beat this entire thing, but they put a bench on top of here, so if you just think like, oh, we'll walk through and get this all over with, that won't really work. That's Hornet. It's a first sighting of her, and usually you have to go through a whole lot of gauntlet things to reach her, and you're supposed to follow her wherever she goes to progress the story. And to me, there's a difference between story and lore. But I have to get this guy to strike the platform that's up there so I can nail bounce off of him. But he keeps striking at the wrong place. So I'm gonna have to jump right when I see him stay still for a second. We'll just jump like 3, 2, 1. There we go. Now I just gotta wait a second, and boom. Just did a quick skip. Well, actually it wasn't that quick since I had to wait, but it's faster than doing this normally. And the kind of funny thing is, you aren't supposed to be able to do that. So, doing that skip to make everything go faster is actually a slight bit worse, since you won't see Hornet again for a bit, since you're not intended to go that way. Oh, I think I need to explain this part though. But a Metroidvania game, I know I mentioned that this was one before, but let me just explain what that is. A Metroidvania game, or Metroidvania style game, is a game in the same style of, well, Metroid and Castlevania, where you're running through a big map trying to find random upgrades to progress and beat the game. And it's intended to take a while, so it has a lot of things to keep you occupied as filler. Well, this game is. But most Metroidvania style games just have you searching around blindly and just to end up finding something. But this game knows it'll take forever for you to beat, so it just embraces that by making there be a bunch of collectibles and stuff, 3 different game modes, and things like that. Now, it may not work if you load in from the top, but I think if I hop down here, then hop back up, I guess you have to trigger all the other Hornet sequences for Hornet to actually appear at other places. I know the route to get to. Now, it's a bit of a long route, but you get used to long routes in this. I mean, your fastest way to some locations, like, one location you don't get a stag station to until you've found every single other stag station in the game, and then you have to do something that is never required at any other point. You have to physically go up on the stag to talk to him instead of at the travel place, since a lot of the times if you grab something like the tram pack, he'll be all like, "Oh, you grabbed tram pass? Well, don't use that kind of evil magic. Just you stick to the normal ways of using a stag." Things like that. But for this, you actually have to talk to him to get it to activate. And after that, he's like, "Oh, you found everything else. Here you go. Here's the way to this." Another mini boss, except this time it actually has gate stuff. And you'll notice that I'm talking a lot more in this playthrough than any of the other playthroughs I just started. Like, for example, what, like, I'll playing for the first time. Like, for example, most of the time in like when I'm playing Minecraft, I'm not talking a lot because I'm trying to focus. But since I've played this game quite a bit before, I don't really need to focus. Like, I just beat that entire boss with only taking 1 hit of damage. And that bit's basically useless. So, I've just gotta keep on chucking along. Now you'll get to... Soon you'll get to another mini-boss that you won't even know is there until you search for it. And that's over here. Like, you're walking through, oh, this room's just filled with normal enemies. Then you go up here and find this guy chowing down on this dude. And now you're in a mini-boss fight. Whenever he yells, that means 2 of his vengeful fly dudes are summoned to help him in battle. But this mini-boss isn't even that hard. You just have to stand still and track when he stops, and then get ready for jumping or for battling. Because whenever he stops, that means he's either going to yell or he's going to dive down. When he dives down, it's best to jump up and then get a few downward nail strikes in. And when he yells, it's best to just be on guard. It can catch you off guard a lot of times when he did that. I don't know if there's any indications on whether he's going to yell or not. Like, maybe he only yells when he's at one side or something like that. But I don't know yet. If you're lucky, you can get 2 hits in. But so far, I've only been able to get 1 hit in per dive. So. But overall, not that hard of a mini-boss, except if you have 0 soul at all. And even then, you still have the ability to kill his minions and dealing damage to him. Now this is Zote the Mighty. He is just there. You can do a dream fight you can do some fights with him later on, but you can also do fights with a shopkeeper, so. Oh, this is the right area. So you just gotta bounce off those guys. Oh, wait, I forgot these guys were here. Now these guys are known as Moss Chargers, and they catch you off guard, pop out of the ground, and then just dash at you. But 1 hit breaks their barrier, and then another hit deals damage. With a fully unupgraded nail, it'll take 3 hits to kill the dude, and with a fully upgraded nail, you can one-shot him. So we're just going to quickly unlock this one. And something I find really cool about this game is if you're trying to grind up to get soul, and you take a single bit of damage, you don't need to have to waste some soul to get health back up. You can just sit on a bench and all of your normal health will be regenerated. I wonder why this area is like this. Like, I've never gotten an explanation or anything, it's just a more eerie area. So, here we go, the second mandatory boss fight in the game. Well, technically it's the third since... Well, the second normal boss fight in the game. The rest of them are things like mini-bosses. Now, Hornet has 3 attacks. She has that she can throw her needle, she can do that dash, and she can also do an AoE attack. Every single boss has a bit of downtime after taking a slight bit too much damage. That's when you're supposed to heal up, and that's the AoE attack. What you're supposed to do, in fairness, I'd suggest when she's really far away from you and she does the dash move, or when she's really far away from you and when she's just really far away from you and does basically any move that's not going to hit you, that's when you should heal up. The best time would probably be the AoE attack, because she'll probably be farthest away from you then. Now she's down, but I don't have any soul to capitalize on that, so... yeah, that attack can really ruin your day. Because... okay, I'm gonna die here. No, there are a few times where the boss is dumb and just goes for a bunch of attacks that are obviously not hit. Oh, well, shoot. But they don't do that much. And overall, I can't tell what the easiest attack is to avoid. Oh, shoot. Well, time for the second attempt. Now, as you see, this is my first death, and I'm impressed. 30 minutes, haven't died a single time until now. But as you see, my soul meter is all busted up and stuff. So that's because I was talking about something called a shade earlier. Well, this is it. It's not that hard to actually take out. For some reason, I can't hit right now. Why couldn't I hit? But anyways, I'm just gonna heal up real quick and grab some soul. But yeah. Now this may take a bit, and I have to say, the worst part of this game has to be soul grinding before big bosses, reattempting big bosses, creating like charm things to for the best situations of what you're gonna do. Now, to be honest, since I'm going to be immediately healing straight back up to full health as soon as I can, I am going to unequip my Charm Fury of the Fallen. And hold on, I've seen this a few times, and I want to see if you need some kind of mod to do it. Now, if you keep trying to equip charms, you'll soon be over-charmed. And what that does is, it makes you take 4 masks of damage whenever you get hit. So it's best to just immediately go for charm slots if you're doing a high notch combo. So, we're going to head back into the fight, but this time we're going to be a slight bit more prepared, have a better charm equipped, and now we won't have to sit through that dialogue. Speaking of dialogue, I basically won't have to talk during this for most of it, since I explained like everything in the first fight. But that doesn't mean I'm going to completely disregard talking. I mean, the fact that anyone even came in to watch my shitty content says volumes about how weird some people are. So, for this situation, I'd say it may be best. So, but about the whole thing I said about how weird some people are, yeah, the fact that anyone's actually able to watch my content to this point I don't think I should just stop talking during a boss fight that I've already beat like 3 times. So, yeah. And now a surprising amount of stuff in this game is framed like, oh, you need this to beat the game, but you actually don't. Because like, for example, they frame something called the Desolate Dive like you need it to beat the game, because it's used to unlock certain barriers on the ground, because there are shaky floors in this game, and at the beginning, oh, I beat her. But at the beginning of the game, usually just walking through, and we got the dash. Usually just walking on top of it. Hold on, let me just rearrange my controls a bit, because I don't like dash being set to C. Yes, I'm stupid. I set my dash to fucking middle mouse. It just feels more right. Would you like to break the seals? They cannot be undone. They must be undone. Let us sleep, little shadow. Return to your darkness. Allow us our peace. And then this is the first sight of the dream. Now I don't know why I should end this stream. Maybe it should be when I find a certain place, something like that, but I don't know for sure. I find it weird that they, like, show you, oh, use this to do this when you remapped it. Like, I remapped the control, so I know what the control is. But sometimes it doesn't save, so. Now, what I really like about Hollow Knight, it's not a game that's going to hold your hand and consistently tell you that the jump button jumps. It just says, okay, so there's this place, and it's infected, and now go save the world. Like, you barely get anything about what the controls are and things like that, except for whenever you get an ability, a little text box pops up that says, hey, do this to use this. It doesn't just push you off on it's not a game to just push you out on the ground and spit on you if you're not able to beat up the hardest boss in the game. Like, it takes time, but it's also really hard. It's not like Cuphead where whenever you die to a boss, it's like, oh, this boss was so easy, I can't believe you lost to it. It doesn't have any kind of condescending tone when you lose to a boss. It's just, like, whatever, man, you lost, so what? So, right now, I think that we should head over to a place called Frog Canyon. And the reason I want to go over there is because it's quick access to another place. Well, let's just show it out. Like you must know by now, I suck ass at editing, which maybe you actually don't know since my past few videos have just been streams, which usually aren't edited that much. But anyways, I suck ass at editing, so I can't edit this stuff out, but I can talk over it, and I think this is one of the first times I've done a video that's not a stream where I don't have someone with me. Well, in the past few. In a while. Because usually I'd have a friend with me to talk in case I run out of things to say, but this time I don't, so I'm all alone narrating. Actually, I don't think I've been here before. Oh, it's this guy. This is the Moss Charger, also known as the easiest boss in the game. If you just stand up here, you can... Wait, no, this isn't the Moss Charger, it's a mini-boss. Well, when he does that, it's easy. Man, I really need it. Yeah, I've actually not been here before. Well, I guess that's that. Well, this is gonna be a pain in the ass. Now there's going to be 3 separate... What? What they... What? Oh. How did I never go here before? Well, live and learn. Well, wasn't that useless? Okay? Yeah, I don't think I've been here either. I'm at 1 mask. If I take any more damage, I'm dead. I've gotta find an easy enemy to beat. Cause usually... Ah, shoot, I jumped right into that. Why is there like a gauntlet of those guys? Cause usually each enemy gives you basically just 1 unit to heal. Just enough to heal 1 mask. But I'm telling you, you wouldn't believe the amount of times I've just been playing the game normally, and now this is a problem I have with one of the charms and in the Fog Canyon, because in the Fog Canyon there are these enemies that when they get hit, they just run at you and then explode, dealing 2 mass damage, which is just really bad. So many times I dropped down. There was a small enemy hiding in the background, so I couldn't see him. And then because I couldn't see him, he just pops out of nowhere, hits me once. My charm, which is a charm called Thorns of Agony, it deals damage to whatever hit you by launching an AoE attack of thorns. But anyways, that gets launched out when the thorns hits a big dude, then it explodes, and by now, let's say I have only the amount of health I have currently. So I'm stuck at 5 masks, and I take 1 damage from the little dude who came at me. I down slashed. but I take 1 damage from the little dude that came at me, and now I'd be at now I'd be at 4 masks of hell. I can't speak. I can't believe how I was able to save myself from that. Please don't be a mimic. Okay, good. Oh, I came here at the wrong time. Well, ain't that neat? I was supposed to be here when I got either double jump or wall jump, because that's the only way I can get up that wall, or with a shade cloak, or with the more powerful dash known as the shade cloak. But since I got here when all I have is my wimpy little dash, I can't do that. Onto the fog canyon after I grab my shade cap. Now the way you can tell when your shade is near is that if you listen closely, the music changes from this kind of happy tune to a weird, eerie piano tune. Like, you'll hear it when I come up on my shade. Just listen to the music. Oh no! But you heard the music change, and after dying, that means I lost all 700 of my geo I worked to get. Which, that geo is going to become very important, because to get an item that is basically required to beat the game, it costs 1,800 geo. I'm glad I was able to get a mask back. But I think the main reason this game is so hard isn't because of the big map or having to decide which path to take and dying at certain points. No, it's because of the health. See, right now I can only take 5 hits of damage before I'm dead. Now later you can increase that by collecting 4 mask shards. You can up that to 6 hits of damage. So you have to put in the grind and effort to get more mask shards just to, be able to withstand a singular more hit of damage. So, yeah. Bottom line, this game is hard. If you want a challenge, play it. On a scale of Dark Souls to Cuphead, it's a Mario Odyssey. Actually, I'll take this seriously. The game itself, on a scale of 1 to 10, is I'd say it's a... I'd say it's a 8. I would want to give it a 10, but it gets an 8 because of the fact that it's not accessible to people that aren't really good at Metroidvania style games and people who like to do things immediately. But for, like, for example, for people who played Metroid and to people who love Animal Crossing and Metroid, I'd say this is the game for you. Because it has the design and everything of Metroid, but it has the difficulty, well, not difficulty, but it has the amount of time you have to put into it as Animal Crossing. It has the feeling that if you don't play it for a while, well, it's kind of like taxing if you don't play it for a while. Because, well, in Animal Crossing, if you don't play it for a while, everything you did gets deleted. In this game, you'll get worse every every hour you don't play it. So you're like obligated to play it a lot, or you're gonna get worse and worse at the game until you can't really play it at your current level, and you can't really train off of things like the false nut, right? Because he's already dead, and you can refight him, but you have to get halfway into the game to refight him, and you have to, and it's like 80 times harder, so that's a no. But here's my goal, right? I'll just show you a quick map. So, I'll just show you something really quick. But right now I have to get my shade back. And while I'm at it, I'll exit the game and rejoin. So I'll get all my health back and teleport back to the closest bench. Because I really need it. And now, here's my goal. Right now, I'm in Green Path. From where I am, I can head down to Fog Canyon, and it remaps my dash every single time I leave. But here's what I'm trying to do. I need to make my way down to Fog... What's this place? I think I know what this would be used for. But once I find my way to Fog Canyon, my goal is to go down and from there head into... Wait. Yeah, I should have grabbed the Lumafly Lantern, which I need a lot of Geo for. Anyway, let me try and finally say this without getting interrupted by something. My goal is to make it down to the Fog Canyon, because in the Fog Canyon, there's a way to quickly get to a place known as the Fungal Wastes. Now, the Fungal Wastes is where I can get the wall jump, and after getting the wall jump, I'll be able to get over to the City of Tears. From the City of Tears, I'll be able to get from there. Well, before all of this, I'm going to, well, I'll save a shopkeeper, then buy a simple key, and I'll have to grind up to buy a Lumafly Lantern too, because when I'm gonna need a Lumafly Lantern. I did not think this through for you. Why did I decide to do this? But now that we're at the Fog Canyon, which is probably the place in the game I spent the least time in, to be honest. Because when you're in the Fog Canyon, there's not really much to do. Like here there's a station where you can, like, from here there's a stag station, and there's a place where you can save Geo. Well, kind of. And then this is how to get to the Queen's Garden. But other than that, there's not really much you can do here. Oh, hey, Quarrel. So this guy's name is Quarrel. He's just an NPC that you find every once in a while. So he actually really helps in the game. And I just realized I don't have enough Geo. But once you get the dash, you can just head all the way up here. You can also do a, if I remember correctly, from here you can do a Vengeful Spirit skip if you jump all the way. Well, also if you somehow die here, even though there's literally 0 enemies. But you could jump and then turn around at the last second, blast 2 Vengeful Spirits to push you in the opposite direction, and then you'll be done with that. But my goal right now is to head around and find the Mantis Village. From the Mantis Village, this is how you get the item known as the Mantis Claw, which allows you to wall jump. This will allow you to get into the area of the City of Tears, and then with a simple key and a Lumafly Lantern, well, you need 2 simple keys, but with 2 simple keys and a Lumafly Lantern, you can head down to the sewers of the place and just find some stuff. But I think that's where I'm gonna leave this video. I really wish I could do more of this, but this game is really hard, so if you like the video, I don't know, you can do something. But, anyway, bye!